treat for you. We're going to be going over a Claymore. Yeah. I know everyone gets all excited about Claymores. There's been a few on the market. Yeah. A couple good ones, a lot of horrible ones.
It's been quite a long journey of failed attempts at making landmines and Claymores in the Airsoft, where from, you know, basically rigging up 40mm grenades to do it. And
yeah.
All sorts of various things that really didn't work terribly well.
People make their own out of PVC piping, and it gets all nutty. So
yeah.
The one we're actually showing you is an M18 A1 replica made by Baoy.
Essentially Baoy.
Yeah. This is the box. It comes with a remote trigger.
It's actually kind of neat.
That's what it's worth, in all honesty.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has an antenna that pulls out, and
which I can't pull out with these gloves on. There we go. Pulls out like that. Slides down door. Oh yeah.
You've got 4 buttons, but only one of them work.
Well, for this, I assume there's something else with the other ones. We're not entirely sure because I don't see any radio transmitter crystals or anything for it. So it's plausible that you can buy additional and work it off one remote. We just didn't see any information about it.
Exactly. It also works off of standard tripwire. Now, we have done some testing on it. That's why you see a tripwire still tied to it at the moment. It does have a safety key that's on the back of it. Which
is kind of necessary because it is a little sensitive by that tripwire.
Very, very sensitive. So you pull that.
Because that's holding in the strap.
I will hold this as sturdy as I can if you want to pull the tripwire.
Okay.
So you can see what it looks like.
Bam!
So, essentially, there's 2 ways to load this. You can either put the BBs in the tray here, and you fold the springs under, and it catches them. Or in the door, there is a small hole. Once you have it down, just fill a speed loader.
It's so easy. It's probably the easiest loading I've seen of anything.
So the spring is extremely powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very tight to get in there.
It's kind of hard to close the door because you have to hold both of these together with one hand in order to also hold the door, unless you have help with a friend, obviously.
Right. What we'll do is we'll get it on the bench. We'll show you how that works, and then we'll also show you what it looks like when something is fired out of it. My general impression of it, it's something awesome to have.
Yeah, it's a very neat toy in general, so long as you have somewhere to use it, because the only legs on this are the legs that you can use in dirt. There's no other real way to mount it to anything else other than sticking it in the dirt, and it's still not very stable. I mean, the legs are steel and all that, but they're nice folding steel legs, but
the rivets are a little loose. You may want to sharpen the steel legs.
Yeah, they're a little, I mean, I wouldn't say dull, but the fact is it's kind of hard to push into most ground that would be required to actually hold this stiffly enough, because if you don't stick it in hard enough ground, all it does is pulls the Claymore over and kind of fires at the ground.
Not very good.
Yeah, not very useful in that case.
Another nice thing is it does actually have the milling on the front that shows front towards enemy.
Nice.
Kind of like a Cypher's pad.
Yeah.
Other than that, it replicates it pretty well. I mean,
it's a very sturdy design, I think. It's all steel construction on this part. All these plates are all steel. Nothing. Well, we don't know if it's pot metal or not, but it's pretty sturdy and hefty. So we think it's something. You're not going to break the legs off or anything crazy like that.
Right. It does have 2 9-volt batteries that come included with it to power the electronic trigger. The thing we're finding about the electronic trigger is the trigger is not strong enough to engage this.
Yeah, use an electromagnetic trigger, which is basically a little switch pops up and down depending on the voltage frequency of either side of the trigger. And it does work, but we haven't gotten it to work by itself to actually hit the trigger. So we know it works, we just we can't get it, you know.
Exactly.
We tried oiling it and all that, it didn't quite work though, which is apparently one failing aspect of this particular Claymore. Right. So it would be cool if it did, but obviously it needs a little bit of tuning to get to work properly.
Exactly. What we're going to do now, we're going to get on the bench, show you how to reset it, and then we'll also give you a video of how it looks going off. Okay, so when you're loading one of these, mainly you're going to go ahead and fold these down. Now, there's 4 coil springs on the axles. It's extremely stiff, and then you just push that cap down. And then on the top, you want to get the trigger and lock it down. Now, it does come with a safety pin. Just pop the safety in right there, and it's locked in. Now it's not going to go off on you accidentally. Now the next thing you do is you just take your speed loader and pop it in, set it on the ground, or set it in the ground where you're going to mount it with your stakes, pull your safety, and run your tripwire. when your tripwire pulls like that, boom.
No, ride your tripwire and then pull the safety.
Yeah, well, yeah, pull your safety afterwards. Don't pull it first.
Pull that last.
But then once they trip, and it will go off fairly easy. It doesn't take a lot of force to trip. It's a very sensitive system, but a lot of fun. So we're gonna go ahead and get this set up so you can see what it looks like to blow it. So we've gone ahead and we've loaded this with packing peanuts. We're not using BBs because, well, we don't want the mess all over the shop. What I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna go ahead and pull the safety out. Okay, and I've got the tripwire set up on a little lever system, so I don't have to be right near it when it goes off, because it is kind of a stiff set-off. So it does show you, it has quite a kick. It gives, it's supposed to give a 20-meter spray with BB. Alright, so we've gone ahead and we've shown you how it functions. We've shown you its exploding action, how to reset it. I wish we could show you more. We had some fun with it out in the field today. Unfortunately, the camera didn't pick up all the information we wished to, but yeah. It's a lot of fun. Now, this runs for $100 on Airsplat's website, which isn't too bad of a price, especially considering they have a decent warranty.
But basically, you're only going to run one of these.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the funds to do it, great. Buy a bunch of them.
And if you have the ops to attend to. A lot of people have areas where it's more feasible to actually use something in a woodsy area versus CQB or whatever.
Yeah, you can't use this in an indoor field because it's kind of obvious.
Well, you can't mount it, say, because you can't mount it in concrete, obviously. Unless you're ready for your own setup, but unfortunately this has pretty much no other way to mount anything else to it.
Yeah, some of the other ones have hooks on them where you can actually hook them on the molly lube.
Yeah, or hook them on the doors and stuff like that.
Exactly. This one, not so much. It's more, set it in the dirt, set your tripwire, and go. But I'm going to give it about a 6. Price isn't too bad because it is a lot of metal construction. The tripwire function works really well. The thing that brings it down for me is the remote function.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was going for. I'm going for 6 because it would be a 7 if the remote worked, because that would be pretty fun in itself, especially if you could rig up multiple at the same time. But the trigger itself does not function with the remote because it's not strong enough to hit the trigger, because it's a mechanical trigger, and it essentially does not work in that method. And I think we tested some, and it would only... its effective range isn't quite as long as it advertises.
Yeah, it's about 15 to 20 feet, and then you kind of like...
You basically have to be pretty close to it, like if you're a sniper or something.
Yeah, have it set up within 5 feet of you, so if you get insurgents coming upon you, you can kind of fend off. But
yeah, but it didn't work. Overall, though, this is probably the best designed Claymore to date. It does duplicate a design that was about a couple of years ago, I believe these came out in this same design, and it's been the most effective of all the Claymore designs because there's no gas shells to worry about like in the older 40mm designs, and no other crazy trigger methods required. So it works as intended, and it works pretty well. It kind of stung a little.
Yeah, just a little bit. It's only going to put about 100, maybe 110 FPS, but when it's right next to you, it's enough to give you a startle. So.
And you can put a lot of EVs in it.
Yeah,
I mean, you can put a lot in it.
We put over 300 in it, and get 300 out of you at once, it's going to do something.
Yeah, we just didn't get a lot of range out of it. So it worked pretty good for what it was. It'll work in pretty close areas. You do have to mount it kind of at an angle because the BBs do need to fly up towards a person rather than at their legs, because it works a lot better that way.
Yeah.
But overall, pretty good design. Pretty well designed. Worth $100 maybe, depending on if you intended to do a lot of ops. And
yeah, if you're going to be going to a lot of 2-day milsim ops.
Yeah, or something out in the field where you're going to be out for an extended period of time, and this will actually be effective in the first place.
Yeah, if you're going somewhere where you're out there for an hour and you're done, it's not really going to work because you can't set up your field in advance. But that's a 6 overall from Cypher and I, so take a look at it, see if you want it. It's something I would recommend if you're looking for that other type of military ordnance for your loadout. Even if you're just going to cosmetically carry it around, it's something cool to have.
Yeah, as long as you find a patch for these things, they're pretty good.
Absolutely. So for Cypher, I'm Dean. Remember, play hard.
Play safe.
Fat beast.
If you like the video, we are the Airsoft GuRu's. Remember to go ahead and click subscribe up in that corner. Don't forget to like right there. Yeah, where Cypher's pointing. Remember, right above us right here, you can see more videos from us.
Well, a lot of our videos actually show up on the sidebar now. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, very nice. Don't forget, you can also find our Facebook page, the Airsoft Gurus, right in the comments below, along with our Twitter and our email address.
We do update every video on our Facebook page, so they'll be up to date anytime.
Absolutely, you can watch them at any time there. Remember, we are the Airsoft Gurus. Play hard, play safe. So we're going to be doing a build. This build is for you, our viewers. We're going to take this random pile of parts you see in front of you, and we're going to make it into a custom-built gun that is going to be given to one of our lucky subscribers. There'll be more details for the contest coming up, but watch for the next episode on this contest where we'll be taking this gearbox by D-Boys and doing a complete rebuild from the ground up on it. Stay tuned.